It's time for another full-length commentary. I'm again joined tonight by my very special guest, Daniel Chan, director of SIFU vs Vampire, which is the movie we're going to do the commentary for. As long as you're literate, you've probably already figured that out. So, if everything's queued up and everything's ready, press play all now. I'll just get to the part about subtitles. Oh, it's a commercial.
Yeah.
About matchmaking, I think. And she's sneezing a lot because her nose is red. And somehow this guy has light emanating from...
Yeah, he's carrying the medicine around looking for sneezing girls to
Nice.
feed it to.
Okay, there we go. Now... Aha!
Okay, we're watching the MVP logo. Oh shit, wrong company, sorry.
Ooh!
Oh shit.
C Movie Limited,
Yes.
which in Chinese is MVP, but... Okay.
Okay, so this opening sequence, it's not in the script at all. We shot this after we had a rough cut, and it was really Wong Jing's idea to have a proper introduction to set the tone, because if we didn't have this scene, we would have started with Ronald and Philip playing gangsters, and we wanted to set the tone as a kind of a scary horror,
Right.
and let the comedy part be, let the audience get used to this kind of scary horror tone before the comedy part comes up.
Right. Okay.
Which we spent a night doing this, and the shot was actually done with what we call a power port. It was the first time I've ever had that piece of equipment, and basically it takes 8 guys to operate.
Okay.
And we had this huge long crane, like a 40-foot crane, to get that one shot. And first time I had to choreograph the camera movement for something like that. So I'm glad Wong Jing decided to do this part.
Now, was this originally, was there any thought about when specifically you'd release it? Because I know recently, like, they've started to do ghost movies around the Hungry Ghost Festival.
Yeah. When we started shooting this, it was 2013 October,
Yes.
and we
There you
shot.
are.
Oh yeah, so
And this was the first night of filming, right?
yeah, we shot
Okay.
the opening this scene on the first night because it was
Yes.
a simple scene to shoot, and as you can see, every time I still end up having most fun doing the subtitles
Yeah.
more than the shooting.
But that's okay. Your subtitles are notably good. I watched a movie last night that shall for the moment remain anonymous, but the subtitles were inexcusably bad.
Oh, you mean the Langmo movie?
I'm not saying nothing. I'm not saying nothing.
Tony Ho, I've never worked with before. I worked with Philip once,
Right.
and Ronald was a big surprise for me because
You've worked with Winnie before.
yeah, I've worked with Winnie once before.
What'd you say? I'm sorry. You said working with Ronald was a surprise.
Oh well, we can talk about Winnie. It's okay. It's I think having worked with her once before, like doing scenes like this, for me, I like to like be the actor. So I was under the covers with Tony, and I think he got more weirded out and grossed out by me hiding in there, humping on his.
So that's actually you?
Well, to lay out the scene for the actors.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I did. And I think that broke the ice because I think that was day 3.
Yeah.
And everyone's still kind of new, and so I had that shorthand with Winnie before, so we were kind of playing it like a joke. I was showing her like which
Right.
way to pull
Okay.
Tony's cock.
And this was the first night of filming. I
Yeah.
was watching this whole thing, and just all the drunk people being obnoxious, but it's like
On
fun.
the yeah, it's always tough because you want those, you want to shoot at night, and you want to have that kind of people going out, having parties. But yeah, for shooting, it's hard to work on because basically all the cars are coming through, people walking into your shots. So this is I think about 5 minute walk from Lan Kwai Fong,
Yeah,
a public park.
yeah, that gets used in a lot of movies.
Yeah, I've
So you were saying before, I didn't forget. Whoa, oh my lord, you were surprised working with Ronald. You said surprised you because
because I mean, to in my mind, he's such a big star. I mean, I've seen his previous movies. I was preparing for dealing with someone who was famous and difficult, but
right,
he turns out to be like lots of fun and like with him and Philip, they were just coming up with different ways to say the dialogue, coming up with gags. So it was the first time that a bunch of actors actually took the words and then made it their own,
right,
rather than just reciting dialogue.
okay,
Because ooh, with previous experiences, like most actors don't want to like put too much of their own ideas
right,
in.
okay, and that was good. The because obviously I'm assuming you used a computer for that, but by doing it quickly, it's still very effective. And
It was really out of necessity because after we finished a rough cut, it was about 100 minutes long, and almost 40 minutes of the 100 minute needs special effects work.
wow,
So we were trying to figure out a way where to have less on screen special effects time, but
right,
still making it work. So with this scene, it's another bit of movie magic. We were parked outside a parking lot, and we have four of the grip guys. Yeah, basically like pushing, jumping around
yeah.
inside the van.
I did a movie in a helicopter, a
Yeah,
one night, and they actually had like poles, and they had a whole bunch of guys doing that stuff. So
it actually turns out to save not only save time, but
yeah, it makes it easier, I imagine.
yeah, for the actors and for the lighting and everything too.
Yeah,
So this is like the third time working with Michelle, who
ooh, yeah,
for me, I think she did her best in this movie because I mean she has a really like pure Chinese mainland girl actress look.
right.
So uh, I felt like yeah he's another joke that Ronald threw in. I mean, even working with a bigger budget, we were still running around the streets just looking for nice spots to shoot. Because this script had, I think, over 100 scenes.
Wow.
So rather than really figuring out where we're gonna shoot most scenes, we were basically scheduling our shooting schedule around the streets that we already liked, and
Right.
so after shooting interiors, we would usually go outside and shoot. So that was one of the. So I had previously been under the covers, acting everything out, and so now it's actually an AD. His name is Michael, hiding in there.
Okay.
So we try not to keep Winnie in there without any oxygen
Right.
for a long time. something to explain about Philip's wig.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Well, the name of his character in the script is 奶油豬, which is like a condensed milk bun
Okay.
that Choi Hua is famous for.
Okay.
And when Wong Jing was writing the script, he actually ordered takeout from Choi Hua, and he ordered a condensed cream bun, and he saw on the leaflet that I think it's part of the marketing campaign. The guy eating the bun is actually a black guy with an afro. So
Wow.
he really liked it, and he kept that piece of advertising material and showed the costume designer
Okay.
what his idea was.
Oh.
Here comes Yun Bill's opening scene.
Yep.
We tried to shoot this in one shot with a two shot. We can see them both. The shit water hit their face, and then we were trying to drop the piece of shit onto Philip's head. We just realized there was no way we can match the timing of it.
Right.
But the ghost face that's coming out of the ghost is actually our assistant art director.
Ah.
Her name is Karen, and we asked her to shoot because she looks the most like a female ghost. She had really long hair,
Ah.
so we got her to shoot those elements.
It's amazing how they got cleaned up so quickly, but that's the beauty of movies.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like if in the Wong Jing universe, the timeline is not as important as the jokes.
Yeah.
I think what would be funny is to shoot everyone waiting for Philip and Ronald to come out of the shower.
Right.
And we actually wanted to shoot a scene of them in the bathroom changing, but then we realized it was too much hassle to move all the lights.
Yeah.
This is actually an actual office of a Taoist master.
Yeah. It's a
His
school, isn't it?
Yeah, his school is training a lot of dragon dance students as well. That's their main income.
See
So-
now, talking about movie magic, this is like I assume this is meant to be daylight,
Yes.
and that ever since I saw this, because this was shot at night, it bugs me every time I see it in a movie because I know it's not real. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's because we only
Well, it's easier.
it's
I
easier
assume,
to
yeah.
control the light, because if we were shooting in daytime and for the sunlight to come in like that,
Yeah.
it's gonna be difficult.
Especially in October.
But the design was to have Yun Bill backlit to give him more of like a mysterious quality.
Right.
On set we call this the Jesus light, which
Nice.
I don't know why.
So, in Cantonese, chata is like a bad word, sort of, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like dickhead.
Chatao. It's like yeah, dickhead.
Ah,
pretty
speaking
much.
of dickheads.
Here comes Sean.
Oh Christ. That's an amazing piece of editing because I was nowhere near that quick. There's Calvin.
after we were looking for the security guards, the personal bodyguard roles, and I had already spoken with Sean for him to come in as a cameo, and the difficult part was to find another 6 foot
Yeah. Another. Yeah.
something person that with
Exactly.
your size. So that was the toughest part. We went through so many like army dudes or
That was hard to do because I kept having because I had to come from you can't see it but I had to come from a lot further away. I'm sorry, but yeah, I get
think
that a lot. They always tell me that I'm too big.
yeah. So when when the AD said, "Oh yeah, we found a big black guy who can play the other guy," and I was hoping for someone who was close to Sean's size, but the other guy looks like looks
Yeah.
like a little kid compared to Sean.
Yeah.
It would have been so much fun if we turn your character into a zombie at the end.
Mm.
Uh,
Now the other in this particular thing, there's kind of the local reference with the TV station and the licensing difficulties, right? The HKTV. It's kind of
yeah.
okay.
Originally, the script was written by Wong Jing a long time ago, um, but he felt that he wanted to make that in 2014 because one of the main news stories for that year was Ricky Wong, the rich telecom guy, decided to try his hand at applying for a TV station.
Right.
So that was the background that we set Kelvin's character as a rich guy having running his own station, but running into trouble because his grandfather's gravesite is experiencing some trouble.
Right.
So that was kind of like the satire that we set the whole background on, which I felt really worked because that's what everyone was talking about at the time,
Yeah.
and it was a chance to kind of update the old Chinese vampire story
Right.
into the modern times.
Yes.
Yunbei looks so menacing with this facial hair, but his normal look is he's like really clean shaven. So I think like it added so much more to him like being a Taoist master,
Yeah.
and the fact that he can fight like he seems like a tough guy when he was younger. It was hard learning about all these like graves and ceremonies and stuff like that because
Yeah.
I had no idea what the script was talking about when I was reading it. So until Wang Jing explained to me and I realized, holy shit, it's like a whole money making business.
Oh yeah.
For most like entertainment field people, they like to go to Thailand to see this master and ask him for advice.
There we go.
There goes Sean.
She
And
really hit me in my face.
and we have I think photographic evidence of the big bruise
Yeah.
that Sean's neck.
Well, I just remember after you came out, you're like, I could hear that in the other room.
Yeah, it was definitely a big smack.
Yeah. The thing I remember too, because this was just in one night, that I'm not, I know there was other stuff, but just the way the crew could move the lights around, like to get the different angles. Those guys would just move everything so quick, but it was like the whole room would just start moving. So I would try to find a corner and stay out of the way.
That was the toughest part for me too. Like on my first movie is not getting in the way, because you realize like the machine moves with or without you, so you
Yeah.
don't want to be in the way when everyone's got like a task to do. And this is the toughest scene, even though it's only like a few minutes in the movie. we went back to this mountainside 4 times. Because each time we went there, it would be a bright sunny day when we start setting up at like 5 or 6. As soon as we get the lights ready, it would start raining. The
Right.
wind would. I think one time the wind destroyed the whole bamboo set behind us, and we had to delay and reshoot. And I forgot Kung Ho Man's English name.
Philip.
Philip, yeah, that's right. So we shot this scene with someone else playing Philip's character, but when we did the reshoot, we cast Philip because yeah, it just seemed like better to have a recognizable actor play such an important role. This coffin, we had 4 of these built,
Okay.
and we destroyed 3 of them. I think the first 2 nights shooting. So it was a matter of literally every time piecing this thing together, putting all that dirt and grime on it. It was it became another character.
Nice.
We got so sick of this coffin. Like on the last day of shooting at this site, we had hammers and everything. We just broke the shit out of it because it was the toughest thing to match, like continuity wise.
Right.
This effect with the lights, as you can see, it's only evident in this scene. I always liked, old like movies from the 70s and 80s where they do the effect in camera.
Right.
And I was asking the DP sergeant how we can get this look, and he unzipped his coat pocket and he took out a lip balm, and he started doing horizontal lines using his lip balm, drawing on the lens, and that's how you would get this type of lighting effect with the fire and everything. And because this is a flashback, I wanted to have that kind of flashback quality.
Right.
So after that, we basically made sure we had lip balm on set. And it was winter, so it was easy to get. So we didn't do any post effects on these scenes.
Okay.
It was all shot straight into camera. And as a director, like, the reason why I would do something like that is once I made the decision, I don't want someone in post-production to be overriding what I wanted to do. Right. So there was no way to, even if you do special effects, to get rid of that effect.
Right.
So, yeah, that's one of the reasons too.
Okay.
So originally we didn't add as much smoke, or we call the corpse aura,
Right.
Sihei. But then when you're looking at a monster up close and it's nice and clear, it just is not scary at all.
Right.
So we added all that in
Yeah. Okay.
to again give it like a mysterious look, and it feels a lot more menacing. The less you see, the more
Right.
you kind of project in your own mind all the different types of vampires you've seen before. So, and it's also tough for the actor playing the vampire because we were shooting at the mountainside. It was probably 8 degrees every night, but for the actor Ken, he was actually sweating his butt off inside all that makeup.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
And every time, I remember the first night he took his mask off, and it was almost like he popped a water balloon, and his sweat would just like roll off the prosthetic.
There we go.
This is probably the funniest joke
Yeah.
of the whole script. I think we burned about $10,000 worth of incense sticks, which is actually a lot. We had
Yeah.
van loads of these, and everywhere we went, it was a matter of just burning like bunches and bunches of them
You mean for that
to
effect in
get
the
the smoke
background? Oh,
effect.
okay.
Yeah. So for about 2 months, that's all we were breathing in every night,
Oof,
14 hours a night.
that's not good.
And I come home and I start picking my nose and I realize, holy shit, like how much of that dirt I breathe into my
Oh yeah.
lungs.
Okay, so how come they overdubbed Kitty?
Well, originally we were going to use her own dialogue because it made sense that, Yunbei would have a student that is from mainland or spoke Mandarin,
Right.
but we realized there was more of Bill Gore's dialogue that we needed to dub than everyone else.
Oh, okay.
And so whenever we had Bill Gore in the scene, then we realized we had to dub the other people too, just to match the environment sound.
Right. Okay.
So this is Menga TV station, the lobby of the place. And we took over this site for about 3 weeks, shooting a lot of these scenes. And it's always weird when you do a table read with actors, like with lines like that, and the actress for the first time is saying those lines or
Mm.
hearing that dialogue, and so Bella was like not embarrassed by it at all. So, which was good, cause yeah, sometimes you know when you talk about them like that.
Yeah.
So this is Hiro
Yeah.
Hayama. We asked Hiro to come in to do a cameo. Actually, I didn't explain well enough to him what we were doing. So when he showed up, he's like, "Whoa! I thought you guys were doing a short film." And then he realizes we had like 5 trucks out there unloading.
Nice.
This AK's office, we built this. Every piece of it we built inside empty factory unit.
Why does he have two copies of Cinderella?
There's actually a lot of different copies of.
Oh, okay. Of Cinderella.
It's what you call the standard bookshelf fake books collection,
Oh, okay.
and I think there's I found 4 variations of a book about Scarface.
Nice.
So it's kind of like a you can pick your Easter eggs that way.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's the same place. Okay.
Yeah, it was the same place we shot on that first night, I think.
Yeah.
we went from Lan Kwai Fong over to this
Yes.
place.
About 4 o'clock in the morning, people were throwing potted plants at us.
Oh, I remember now. Yeah. Sometimes, like when we're shooting at night, you don't realize everyone's asleep because, like on the set, everyone's working, and we would just laugh too loud or do stuff. Yeah, I remember that time now.
It's funny to me to watch Philip because he usually, I mean, he plays some kind of funny things, but this is so completely different for him.
It was actually exhilarating for him because he didn't need to keep his like good-looking guy
Right.
kind of thing, and so like as long as he's okay, we were okay shooting him like doing silly stuff. Now, of all the Jing girls, what do you think of Michelle? Like throughout the history. Oh,
What do you mean?
I mean, as an actress, like because I mean she's done a few like movies with me and with Wong Jing.
Yeah. I think, I'm trying to remember. I know I've seen her before. The one that she made the biggest impression on me was Once Upon a Time in Shanghai.
Yeah,
But I think that's because she kind of had the chance to step out of it. In this, because I think her character is supposed to be sort of reserved anyway.
yeah.
You know.
It was easier because like you know we're telling the audience that she is a ghost spirit already, so she could act differently to the other actors. I think that helped with her performance a lot. But when we were shooting her as like a modern day or in Hong Kong, I find that like Hong Kong actresses don't have that kind of poise or reservedness. So
Yeah.
yes, it's different.
So this is this location. This is literally across Nathan Road from the temple from Public Square Street. That's the end of Public Square Street. Actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And what about this house?
This house is actually, I think a French art collector owns this house, and there's artwork all over the house. And but the drive to the house is actually the most interesting part because when we were driving up there was a one-way road and there were grave sites. We could literally open the window, stick our hands out, and touch graves from inside the car. That's how narrow that street is. And when we were driving up there, we realized, okay, we're making the right type of movie at this house
Yeah.
because the eeriness of it is just scary. So there's two guys hiding underneath the table pulling that dolly for Bonnie, the actress here, to slide over. And I've never worked with Bonnie before, but the day she came to this set, we have a bed outside the backyard for a later scene, and she showed up on set and then got her makeup and wardrobe, and then she came over to see what we were doing, and we hadn't met before, and then I was sitting on the bed just playing with bed sheets or something, and then she jumped onto the bed, kind of rolled over, and said hello to me, and then she started taking selfies with her phone, which I thought was the coolest lady
Yeah.
ever. And she did all her own stunts too. A lot of falling. When we shot this landing of Michelle, it was actually daytime. So we had to digitally remove the sky to turn it back into night.
Wow. Okay.
There was no way we could shoot another day at this location. So it was hectic because every night I think this movie 90% was nighttime. So every night we start work, we're racing against time. We're trying to finish everything before the sun comes up. So it was really tough, and because it was so cold too. This particular location was in Taipo, and an abandoned schoolyard. I think it was 4 degrees that night.
Ooh.
Everyone was. We were handing out these wool under shirts for everyone to wear.
Ah.
大膽妖言，陰陽相隔，人鬼殊，你竟然夠膽勾引陽間男子，係咪想永不超生？
道長，我唔係想害佢㗎，我知道佢係好人，我只係想佢幫我可以脱離苦海。
咩事啊？喂，大佬，你俾鬼！
There's this pattern in like Chinese ghost stories where the female ghost is always very attractive, and they always need something done, and they always seem to be able to find some guy to
Right.
help them finish, you know, whatever they want done before they move on to the next world. So I wonder, like, if you had a like a not so good looking female ghost, would the story then not be able to finish?
That would be the story, like the ugly ghost
Yeah.
needs help.
Because the first thing Ronald's gonna say is, "Yeah, I'm kind of busy. I don't think I can help you find your ashes."
你隻，你第一個，你走啦！
烏英，大師講得啱，我係鬼，
You can tell by the reverb in her voice.
你信我喺醫院，我喺急症室嗰陣就已經有唔翻。
咁有咩問題啫？我中意你咪得咯，我理得你。
大師，我係俾衰人害死嘅，佢無先無家姐咁樣。
The one thing that this movie doesn't explain is how a man and a ghost can consummate. That's never explained.
That don't matter. You know, if ghosts are real, then you could do that. So, you know, that would be my guess anyway.
啱我病咗。
This actor, we call him Tonko, and Tonko is actually an interesting person when the camera is not rolling. I mean, in the storyline, he's taking advantage of these girls, but on set, he's actually taking advantage of a lot of male crew. I think, which we were surprised, is like he likes to grope the male crew members, including me, when we're not shooting and when we're just like sitting around having lunch or dinner. And there's a lot of butt petting with Tongo, and you know, we all kind of played along, and then it started to get uncomfortable, is because after we shot this scene, we realized maybe he is kind of like his character, but like
Just sort of, yeah.
just sort of with dudes.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that works.
Something I forgot to mention is we bought that car. That was a Lexus. It was like a 15-year-old Lexus.
Oh, okay.
We bought it at a scrapyard, and it still drives and everything's nice. And when we got the car to the set, we dropped a 120-pound dummy on the roof,
Okay.
and we realized it didn't even budge.
Oh, no. No.
And okay, shit, what are we gonna do? And then we realized, okay, it has to be done with special effects.
Yeah.
And we ended up chopping the roof of the car in half to give it that caved-in look.
Oh.
So that was my hand sticking that
Okay.
coin knife into like a mannequin.
Oh, okay.
In the script, there is a part where Philip is waiting for Ronald outside at the toilet, and Ronald is shitting the little coins out one by one, and we we were hoping to shoot it at the office at the production office toilets, but they just looks too new and clean, and we didn't end up shooting that scene. But it would have been a pretty funny scene.
睇風水啊，全部揾佢啊！有次啊，差佬想同我殺幾條罪啊，藏入點解啊？亂交炮都
One thing I really admire about Tony is his ability to adapt to us changing how the camera moves and everything. Because for me as a director, when I'm looking at the scene, I see what the camera sees. But for the actors, they don't have that perspective.
Right.
So for Tony to be able to find his spots to deliver his dialogue so timely and perfectly and without being blocked by other actors
Right.
shows his experience
Oh, yeah.
as an actor, which he was never a problem hitting his marks and everything. But for the younger actors, like, they have hard enough time to manage the dialogue as well. And
Right.
when you put in the body language and everything else, sometimes they just, mess up really easily. So Tony's is done. I think he's done like 100 movies already.
Probably, yeah.
And you throw anything at him, and he would be able to deliver.
啊，老細，時間好慢。哦，佢回好多錢俾你咩？1000萬啊？嚇？好啊，就俾1000萬你做一做。生意係長做長有嘅啫。好，我今次就平俾你，我係交個。
What I really like about Calvin too is this scene originally was conceived as one long take, one shot. We had dolly tracks on the ground, and then we were gonna follow Calvin throughout the whole scene, and we did that, and he delivered every line perfectly the first take. So, as like a young actor with not much experience, like, I think he did the most thorough preparation for the character of this movie. And every time he would be the first one to show up, and he would be the first one to get dressed and everything. So really professional, and a professional actor.
呢度嚟嘅身份要幾耐？1個鐘到啦，穩陣喎。
If they were that concerned, they should have gotten a helicopter.
天有不測之風，呢條天點會落雨咩？
Of course, it's going to rain.
Shooting with a water truck. I think we had 500 liters, and I thought that's a shitload, right? That should be able to. And we realized, okay, the next level up is 3,000 liters, which would
Right.
cost a lot more money. So obviously, I went for the money-saving part.
Yeah.
And so when they started releasing the water, we had like water pipes lined up throughout this whole area. For about 10 seconds, we lost a quarter
Yep.
of the water, and then we realized we need a bigger truck. So we ended up getting the 3,000 one in afterwards. And this is different. We didn't have a water truck, so it was two guys with water hose
That's all right.
spraying it, and we had fans blowing the wind towards that direction.
呢個左手，斬咗你右腳出嚟。慢慢行啊，老細。喂，你每日睇咗啲僵屍片當自己識捉啊？我點知好啊？咪真係走隻嘢出嚟啊？放心喎，我等陣揾人揾啲符封住晒個貨車，再喺周邊落晒啲糯米，包冇事嘅。去邊啊？去食飯咯。你吞咗老細債嘅啫，啊！買啲嘢翻嚟食啦。我話雞排，今晚財點光。
I think a lot of times when making movies, like the guys doing the lighting, they would only assume that they're lighting a specific area for you to shoot in. But
Right.
this particular gaffer, we call him Master Yan. Master Yan would just basically every day he would ask for more time to do lights. But we realized the more time we give him, the more freedom we have to shoot, because we realized this whole car park area every night we show up, it takes an hour and a half to 2 hours to light.
Right.
But when Master Yan says he's done, basically we didn't move any lights around after he set everything up.
Okay.
So it was the first time working with such an experienced gaffer, and it really paid off because usually every shot we need to spend maybe 20 minutes, half an hour, and all that time he saved for us went into shooting.
開槍㗎嘛，高處邊有咁嘅聲啫，嘣一聲啊！喂，有啲唔同喎，都係玩。喂，砰砰聲我唔驚啦，你砰砰聲俾錢大佬，你爭我幾錢我就爭住先啦。我覺得真係有啲唔妥啊，咪出去睇啊！電視台係咁噶啦，拍嘢嘛，大佬啊！真係麻煩。
So, why? So they had to go to the TV station because they couldn't get up the mountain, right?
They couldn't bury
Yeah.
Calvin's great grandfather in time,
Right.
so they were kind of holding the corpse at the TV station, waiting for morning to bury him.
僵屍嘅特性啊，係會感應到親人喺邊度㗎，快啲打俾佢啦！
There's another version of this scene which I thought was really funny, but maybe it's only me. The way we shot this scene was Bella was obviously orally pleasuring Calvin, and Calvin was thinking about his great grandfather, the corpse, and all that stuff. He wasn't really into it, so he started to open his files and then started to sign documents off of Bella's back as a table. And
I think that's funny too.
and it gets to a part where he tells Bella to stop,
Moving.
hopping her head up and down because he couldn't get traction signing those papers. Which, I mean, for me, it really matches the character. I mean, a rich guy like that who runs a TV station, like a girl pleasuring him on his off time, he's not going to be his, greatest moments.
Right.
So I thought he would be spending that time well doing something else to occupy his mind.
Is that an homage to the Untouchables?
Oh, you mean the...
The elevator with the blood stain.
Oh,
Remember? I'm just just teasing. But I like that because because otherwise you'd have to do a whole bunch of wet work and everything else. So the way that you did it with the red filter and stuff, it kind of conveys the idea, but you don't have to show it.
A lot of times we shoot at these locations, like people are kind enough to let us shoot there, and we don't really want to mess up the place too badly, even though we always do when we promise we won't. But for the elevator, I mean, people have to work there every day, so
Yeah.
all the blood was actually put in afterwards.
Oh, okay.
There was no blood inside the elevator at all, only on Tony. And I feel bad for those two guys and all the people playing dead zombies because, I mean, that weather, that rain, the wind, it was really tough to to not be shivering every night. And on top of that, they have to be covered in syrup. We built a replica of the vampire. The mouth opening, this part, it was actually an electronic dummy.
Oh, okay.
And it was amazing. There was a guy with a control, like a radio car control, and he was basically making the zombie eyes and mouth move with an RF radio. So that was really cool.
Nice.
自己係衰咗啫。老細，我睇要報警啊！成個龍門唔應該算。冇啊！俾差佬揾到我睇到條屍點落作啊！唔知，俾多5球嘢你。
But I like the idea that it never crosses their mind the cops will think they're insane and that they did it.
It's there's like a lot of movies where everyone's kind of living in the movie world.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Speaking of Yorkie, on the Triad commentary, Yorkie, my friend, was here. He couldn't be here tonight, but I just wanna, especially the scene with Bella now. Yorkie has a huge crush on Bella, and yeah, but I don't think Bella likes him back.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah. The previous scene, the blowjob scene, there was another outtake where we came up with this thing where after Bella finishes, she would be picking pubes out of her teeth, and that was the first time. Like, I never thought like Wong Jing as my producer would ban ideas like that. That was the first time Jing goes, "That's too much even for me."
Right.
So that's when I realized, okay, maybe we went overboard a little bit.
It's good to know that he does have limits, though.
Yes. And everyone on set was making fun of me after that. It's like, when Jingo says you went overboard, then you really went overboard.
Yeah.
There is actually a whole subplot in the original script about Calvin getting special powers and how he develops that power with, there is actually 3 more scenes with him going to the shooting of, we're in a TV station, right? They're shooting a TV show about zombies, and about him kind of hiding in the in the crew and biting different people. So the reason we cut that out was because scheduling wise we couldn't put that in, but I think if we had that scene in there, it would explain the ending so much better.
Yeah.
Is one guy let loose on a TV station, biting, eating everything he can get his fangs on. So
Yeah.
we ended up keeping this part as the explanation of it. This particular actress was really difficult to work with because you see this thing she does with her hand, and we were doing this one take, and Calvin was supposed to bite her, and in the middle of it, she looked at the camera and says, "Come on, is he gonna bite me or not?" And and basically ruined the whole scene. And it's just like you realize it's not many. We in Hong Kong we call everyone artists, but sometimes like people show up on set, they have never been on set before, they don't know like how shooting a movie is, and you just realize, oh my god, like we assume everyone is kind of on top of things,
Right.
and then you run into like people like that, and then you realize, okay, not everyone is kind of up to that level.
Yeah.
This is our 27-hour day. We showed up at, it was an actual funeral parlor in Hong Kong, and for me, I never had like much superstitious about places like that, but people were really kind of not wanting to go into the room behind the stage where they put the bodies, and
Right.
we ended up using that as a resting place, and then we were having lunch, dinner. We ate 6 meals in this place over 27 hours. And
Is that the same car that Ronald took up the hill?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, because that thing cost $800, and and we're gonna make good use of it.
That's all right.
大佬私人行為，我打死你同大佬報仇。
This was something that I realized superstition is something that maybe I need to respect as well, because Tony really was afraid of going into the coffin.
Yeah.
And with me, like, I don't care if it's, as long as it looks good, it's good for the story. So I kind of jumped in there, and I was trying to act out the whole thing, and I thought that would give Tony the courage to do it.
Right.
But what I didn't realize is, like, yeah, like Chinese people, they still have that kind of
Oh, yeah.
beliefs that maybe some bad spirits would get on their body,
Yeah.
and it was actually a coffin we rented because of the special type of wood. So it is true that dead bodies have been in it. So yeah, we ended up just like not covering Tony all the way in.
Right.
We see a lot of cameos here, a lot of the crew members. This guy farting is actually the one of the stunt guys. We had so much fun coming up with those lines on the flower thing there.
Okay.
A lot of the names are actually crew member names.
Okay. Uh-oh. Nice. Uh-oh.
明心同我見。
I remember you were saying like you had to learn about a lot of the Taoist stuff and the vampires and burials, and I remember Kitty was struggling at first to learn a lot of those, the things that
The hand
they do with
signs.
their,
Yeah.
because they are,
I mean, no disrespect to the masters, but apparently, like, one wrong placement of a finger means completely different thing.
yeah,
So it was tough to have a guy always on set, because I mean we're fighting for time, and the technical advisor would always come on set and goes, that's actually a move that some other religion would use, and this is not proper.
right. But it's one of those things I always liked in the old Mr. Vampire movies, but just the way they'll do this stuff, and all of a sudden the person can't move.
Yeah.
Now this what I really liked is the way you brought the vampire special effects and kind of digitized them, and because it's the same aesthetic, it just looks a little better because it's not hand drawn on the frames. But I really
Yeah.
liked it, and the colors are nice and everything. It's an interesting concept. Ugh.
So thank you, Ken, for helping out. He was really closed in there.
因為我兩個死奸嘅，佢哋兩個係中咗屍毒，先會變成僵屍嘅啫。攞嚟支柴燒咗佢。我睇阿強嘅太過，已經出咗世。咁我哋點啊？
Especially in this movie, because of all the superstitious ideas, we have this custom where we would kind of burn incense to thank the spirits for letting us shoot, and hopefully we always leave food around for them. So that was something we always did when we were shooting this movie, and I had to kind of learn the whole thing, like, because being the director, if you don't believe in it, then your crew members might think that, you know, we're in for some bad luck.
Right.
So even though I don't really believe in it, I was the first one out there, you know, burning the incense sticks and saying the prayers, and that became like a run on joke for us on set. Is like, yeah, we better say a prayer before we start shooting. If some of you remember that armored statue is from Vegas to Macau. We borrowed that as a piece of production design.
我行過嚟啊！我有病，唔想惹到你。都揾得4個法師，喺出面幾頭。隻僵屍係咪收埋喺電視台入邊啊？梁天基，睇上嚟我平時同我講呢啲嘢，你嘅風水佬想呃錢啊？報警㗎！多行不義必自斃，你自己諗清楚啦。我想問高山炮攞翻大骨灰嘅。咁大嘅僵屍都揾唔到啊！咁細包骨灰又點揾到啊？行啦！老細，你唔舒服咩？你識啲咩啊？你知而家件事揚咗啦，盡快幫我搞掂佢啦，多多少我都肯俾嘅。
A lot of camera guys, when they see footage like that, they think, okay, the shadow on his face, and most of the times, oh,
God
okay,
damn.
I won't talk over this part.
好多嘢做，你走先啦。
我唔走，
走啦，叫你走啊！
我係都唔走啊！你肯定唔知收埋邊條女喺房啦。
This was another tough scene to shoot because those 4 girls were really hanging up there
Yeah.
by their waist, and I think they were up there for at least 3 hours just for those few shots.
One of them is Jane Wong. She's in so many. She's in almost as many movies as Lo Hoi Pang.
Really?
Well, yeah, but she always, I call her the queen of cameos because she's in movies. Like when they have the establishing shot of all the police at the table, they'll start with her and then pan to Ku Tin Lok, that kind of, you know. And I think she's later on when they're walking around after they're undead. I think you can see her a little better.
啲嘅骨灰好可能就收埋喺個道館度。啱啦，我正正就係爆格畢業嘅。如果俾佢撞到你哋兩個嘅話，你哋就一身蟻啊！等我俾啲法官你哋。
There is another subplot that we edited out. It was Kitty's character having a crush on Master Chang, and Master Chang is kind of not completely accepting of her feelings. We tried to work that in because we talked with Yun Bill and Kitty, and we thought that would be kind of a nice nice subplot to add dimensions to the to that relationship.
Yeah.
But we ended up cutting around it and also changing the dialogue with dubbing because we couldn't give it an ending. We kind of started that
Right.
that they were maybe lonely hearts being together, but yeah, we ended up just didn't think that there was like a happy ending for Kitty.
Right.
We were mindful of that part shooting even until the ending where the last scene of Kitty attending the wedding. There was a couple of looks when we get to the end of the movie. There were especially a couple of close-ups of Kitty and
Is she the ghost face?
Ghostface Go. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
she's the assistant art director. So she had like really long hair, and then we
Right.
just thought it was perfect. And we had the fan machine like
Yeah.
blowing her hair up like
Okay.
the whole night.
So you say at the end of the wedding scene, whoops, not hope we're not spoiling anything.
Yeah,
But she looks at
she looks at Yun Bill's character, and then they kind of feel like they're happy for Ronald and Michelle, but they're also kind of there's like an unspoken connection.
right.
But all those subtleties kind of got lost with all the dick and fart jokes.
Right. Now, why is she like within the movie? Is she supposed to be wearing a wig, or did her hair turn blue?
That was the wig that the assistant art director put on the table. So obviously, I should have put the focus on the wig on that last shot in the changing room. So she used the wig to go along with her pale complexion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When the costume designer told me like Bella's shirt was gonna be see through, I was the first one to put my hand up, and I didn't realize like see through means like there would be words actually on the shirt.
Yeah, they're not gonna just
So we made this fun thing where when she comes back out, she was wearing this shirt back to front.
Now, where's this location?
This is in Sumshui Pole,
Oh, okay, nice.
an old walk-up building.
Okay.
The texture of it fits so well because it's another Towers Master. Okay. It's bad etiquette to talk over nude scenes, I think.
Oh,
哇！原來本日本書嚟㗎，你唔好埋嚟啊！你埋嚟捅死你㗎！咪走啊！哇！你唔好埋嚟啊！你唔好埋嚟啊！唔緊要啦，有你啊嘛。
right.
咪搞！拍拖咁我點算啊？咁我點知點算啊？你快啲扯啊！如果我插死你啊！咁人哋都預咗俾你插㗎啦。我揾銅劍插你啊！ 你抽完我水唔幫我，我咬死你！點解我女神搞成咁㗎？邊個講嘢？你唔好真真地地喎！如果你唔幫我，我咬你！好似人入咗嚟，我冇點我喎。我冇點你啊！如果你幫我都係出嚟嘅，我就同你醫。
I like in this scene the way it goes back and forth from, because that's obviously for us to be able to see, but then when he can't, you know what I mean? The way the camera kind of
Yeah, we struggled with this for so long was because whose point of view is looking in this scene, and when they become invisible, obviously like it's they can see each other on set, but it's just like the way to shoot those like empty frames, how to show that it's actually they're not showing up in any of the mirrors and stuff like that.
right.
And then the scariest part was we had a real knife and a fake knife. And for some reason, she picked up the real one to shoot that scene. So she was actually waving around. Luckily, nobody got hurt.
Yeah, see, like that.
Yeah, when we were on set, we didn't really know how it's gonna turn out, but through editing, we kind of made it. I don't know if you can call this a motif, like getting things stuck up the butt.
That's what, yeah,
Yeah.
you could, yeah. It's a recurring, yeah.
Yeah.
你想點啊？明天呢關西邊，骨灰啊？得得得，喺度喺度喺度，骨灰喺度。家產啊！家產走啦走。
咁點算啊？我變咗做殭屍，邊個醫我啊？
擺翻上師傅度先算啦。
Now, did you have that made, or was that just added later?
That was a piece of graphics we added onto it afterwards.
Okay.
The coolest thing about the May TV station is I think it was operational up until a few years ago. And it's literally a scary place to be around at night when it's cold and nobody's there. And you can walk for like these corridors were so long, you just keep walking. And we were doing the location scout and we looked inside. There was actually a VCD manufacturing area.
Wow.
Where they manufactured all the VCDs back in the 90s, and I think we took a couple of boxes of random VCDs lying
all right.
around.
That's all right.
我都估到你有古怪，原來你度變咗半日半屍。俾多5000萬我就救你。如果唔係，你好快就變埋。
Yeah, sure. He's an undead vampire, so I'm sure blackmailing him is going to work. But you got to kind of admire people like that. I don't care if you're a vampire. Give me money.
你俾咗好多人血佢吸啊！佢做咩啊？
Oh!
We shot this whole part without the vampire being there on the day,
Yeah, see?
and
Let's see. Can't tell which one is... That's not her. That's not her either.
she looks like Jillian Chong here, one of the
Yeah.
twins.
Right.
我盡量忍。
Yeah, a little bit.
明心，睇住，萬一有咩意外，真係變咗僵屍咁，算啦，放心。
So it was really hard because we had references of all these like yellow flags, but when we were making it, we were kind of making it to look good for the camera, but actually there was very little you can change.
你要忍住。
Okay, this is the
你會永不超生。
side boob.
Oh, yeah.
We added the smoke in because we could actually see the nipple tape.
Yeah.
So we had to kind of blur it a little bit.
點解我？點解要係我？點解呢啲嘢會發生喺我身上？都唔關我事。我想紅，想做大明星啫嘛。我仲無辜過你，你都幾貪慕虛榮，但係我連呢個想法都冇，就被高山拍害死咗。
She looks a bit like Connie Mann, too. Man Hoiling.
Yeah.
And they both... that's the archetype, though, isn't it?
原來你係鬼嚟嘅。佢係鬼。
It's like, it's so unbelievable. You're in a tub of 1,000-year-old rice water to stop being a vampire. You're a ghost? I don't believe it.
影你
I actually used the same tub for the Mr. and Mrs. Player Chapman Toe scene when he was taking a bath.
Oh, nice.
We were using the same. I think we hired the same props guy, and then he kept it from the last movie. And she nearly got electrocuted in the scene because we actually had the tub raised by wooden planks off the floor to let all the electrical lines go through.
Ooh.
And there was a plug at the bottom of the thing where she probably pushed it loose, and water started leaking, and then we had a short of the whole
Wow.
place. It was.
See, conceptually, I enjoy the fact that they still are thinking inappropriate thing. Like, it doesn't matter. They're still thinking inappropriate. I like that.
你哋唔係諗住嚟將人哋沖涼嘅咩？
係呀，咁但係鹹濕都可以有正義感噶嘛。正如我哋成日睇 AV，見到女優俾人砌得咁凄涼，我哋兩個都不停落淚。
唔緊要啦，由得佢哋。我都拍過3級片，自己無端做啫。
阿方啊，你真係心明大義啊！喂，你仲好相遇添喎。
你唔准睇。
Aren't you supposed to be dead?
你係我 fans 嚟㗎。
係啊。
真係衰啊！俾佢睇到我而家咁。
Actually, I like this scene. I thought it was nice. And then he gets a nosebleed.
以後唔准望第二個女人，唔准睇細仔，呢啲都唔准打。
咁呢個人鹹濕㗎嘛？嗱，你咁索，咁咪睇啲冇索嘅，咁我覺得你就唔會索，越嚟越愛你啊！
I'm starting to think like in all of Wong Jing's movies, the dialogue is actually lines he's used on girls before.
It's very possible.
Yeah, because it just like it comes out sounding very real. Like it's what do you call it? Battle tested?
Yeah. Exactly.
你自己講㗎，咁你可唔可以串啊？
So you could say all of his dialogue is based on real events.
Yeah. Michelle came up with this idea of reappearing. So she actually ran behind the camera guys and then ducked down and then stuck her head back up.
That was good.
Yeah.
師傅，個細炮被 AK 殺死咗啊！係啊，你千祈唔好話俾佢哋聽，我爭啲變僵屍啊！你過嚟啊！我唔會咬你嘅。
咪住，我唔係咁嘅男仔。你吩咐我。
The extended outtake was basically Philip wetting his pants.
Nice.
It was all from one kiss.
你睇先，裏邊唔驚死嘅，跟我嚟啊！喂，冷豬，冷豬，我哋塊面。
Oh, well, actually, there were plenty of kisses.
What's kind of funny about this, I noticed from like, because this was in the teaser and everything. Once they start walking. Yeah, Kitty has the most manly walk. But I like the way, for instance, you know, that using gas masks, the way you can sort of bring that tradition forward of, you know, you can't breathe, but then you do this stuff.
which kind of makes no sense because when you breathe out, it's still carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's,
it's and then you can see the gaps on their face. So the
Yeah.
gas mask is actually not working too well.
but officer, what about his fingernails?
He's just eccentric.
Yeah.
Eccentric billionaire. We added this rain digitally. Whoa. This is Vampire number 2. The actor's name is Michael Chan.
Yeah. Okay.
And now they're all dry and
What's the posters?
those two posters were the only ones that we could use, and because we don't have rights for everything else, so we kind of paid for the rights for one,
Oh. Okay.
and then the art department came back with that, which it kind of doesn't really fit like a British
Yeah.
indie.
Why is that? Oh, his name is
He prefers AK.
right because his Chinese name is.
Is Akang, yeah.
But if you mispronounce it,
Well, it's kind of like
that's Jane
oh,
in the white dress.
right.
I'm sorry, you're saying about the name?
Yeah, it was like just making fun of because like yeah, kids name Akang is like parents that don't have an imaginative.
Oh, okay.
I haven't done any kind of this type of fighting scenes before, so it was really hard for me to judge like each part's timeline because you realize it's like 3 different parts in the same room that is running on continuously.
Right.
So when do we cut back to the other side? get the reactions. I was in complete panic mode when we were shooting this scene. It was because of 3 corners of the office, everyone's kind of fighting,
Right.
and you realize you have to kind of tell each side continuously. It was just a really tough day.
阿強咧？唔知喎，快啲揾佢！喂，我還翻你個灰先，快啲啦！喺度，走！喂，起身啊！我未睡啊！未啊！
So what was this? Who's the rebel prince? I mean, I'm vaguely familiar with the Monkey King, but what was the?
It was conjuring the rebel prince so that Yun Bill could borrow the spirits of the Monkey King and Kitty's character to conjure up their spirits, basically.
Okay.
This is the only part that I kind of regret now watching it, because we kind of made the sides blurry,
Right.
and we stretched the image a little bit. I think it might have played better if it was just normal kind of aspect ratio.
Right. Well, I mean, it looks interesting. In terms of cinematography, yeah. For people who want to watch the action, maybe it would be better, but.
Yeah, it's just that the different hits and you don't really feel the power because the picture is kind of stretched.
Yeah.
But we went back and forth like so many times with this, trying to, because it's like a standalone action scene, so we thought maybe we could try that. And
Yeah. Uh-huh.
一定天下無敵啊！阿強，你太公係妖孽嚟㗎，今日我一定要收服佢。收啊！唔收啊！你夾晒。
So is that all real, or was some of that?
this particular shot, we shot 4 times that wide shot.
Okay.
We only had 60 people kind of dressed up as zombies, so we would shoot them each quadrant.
I see.
We marked
Okay.
the floor with lines that we
Right.
took out later. So it feels like there's 240 people, but
Right.
really there's only... So if you pause the frame, you can kind of pick out the doubles.
Right. Right. You can
It's
spot.
the same person with the same clothes on.
He's consuming their essence.
捉翻先嘅自己，起身上。
This fight sequence was much longer, and I mean like at least another minute of Kelvin and Yun Bill fighting.
Right.
But the reason we cut it short was because some shots had rain, some shots didn't.
Right.
and we just ended up wanting to make make everything match.
Right.
So Calvin was very disappointed because we took out so much of his hard work,
Right.
and it's not easy fighting with Yun Bill because to make it believable, he's using full force.
Right.
So right coming up next when Yun Bill and Michael taking these kicks is really hurting too.
Yes.
And then this part was Michael's hands and body had marks all over it because he was taking these hits for real. Another thing I want to mention is the music.
Okay.
I think it was really done well. I was talking to the composer about getting like a Chinese style heavy metal,
Right.
and he kind of made it work, and it made this scene a lot more interesting to look at.
Right. I liked it. I like that the way that this because it wasn't foreshadowed too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, see stuff like that. I really enjoy that. Uh-oh.
So what I was talking about before was like there were a few more shots that was taken out here of Kitty and Yun Bill's character, of them kind of acknowledging to each other that there is
Right.
kind of special relationship there because we're at a kind of wedding ceremony,
Right.
and then this is the Chun-Li Street Fighter style hairstyle.
what I like about this was on the on the one hand, like it's sort of this nice touching thing, and then again it just dives right into the gutter.
No，
喂喂喂喂！
嚟啦嚟啦，麻煩在此，出現真形。
So there was another little bit here where we wanted to play the joke longer, so we had other shots in here about Kitty's spell not working right. So every time Ronald would be humping, Michelle would kind of buzz like the
Right.
buzz
Yeah.
in and out. It's kind of like, but then it was too like the doggy style part was
Yeah.
just too graphic, so so maybe every time he pounded in, like
Yeah.
like Michelle would kind of appear a little bit.
Yeah.
And then there was a last part where he kind of came too early, and then Michelle kind of looked back and go, "What?
Right, yeah.
That's all you got?"
All right. So, is there anything else you want to say?
Yeah, it was just a kind of really fun movie to do, even though it was really tough throughout the shoot. But I think with this movie, I kind of picked up a lot of other skills with like effects and action. So
Nice.
yeah, it's kind of learning a lot more, preparing myself for the next project. So
Okay.
it was yeah, a fun time to look back on.
Good. All right. And thank you again, because this was the first time I ever got to be in a movie. So I got punched in the face, but it was, to me, it was just so much fun, because I still remember. I wish I'd saved the. You sent me a message and it said literally, "Do you want to do a cameo and get choked by Kitty Jung?" Like that was what you.
Yeah.
And so I remember answering it out loud in front of my friends, like we were eating dim sum, and I answered it, I'm like, oh, I have to press play, or whatever. But you know, I really enjoyed it, and I like this movie because, like I said, it sort of updates the whole genre, and it's fun, and the fact that, like I said, it's there's this constant thread of very lowbrow humor that I actually think is very funny.
Yeah, it's kind of the go-to every time we run into trouble. It's just using the humor to make everything flow better. So, yeah, thanks for having me back again.
Welcome. I look forward to doing it again. If you've listened to us this far, thank you very much. That puts you in about the top 1% of listeners. But we will see you again soon. Thank you.